Welcome to Whippoorwill Holler. I'm Miss Lori, and this is Mr. Brown. We live in the hills of Arkansas. We love the Lord. Keepers of the old way, but accept some of the new. We love to cook, and we love to eat. We love to garden. It's in our blood. It's how we stay sustainable and fill our pantry. We do a lot of canning and preserving. We live a sustainable life. We love our family. We work hard. And every once in a while, we like to dance. So y'all join us. We got some sweet pictures at Easter with Granny Brown and little baby Bo. She loved every minute of it. Oh, Hank, he's just hanging out, doing good. I want to show y'all just a little bit. It's been a couple of weeks since we looked at the garden. I still got a lot of things to plant, more strawberry plants and just different things, but you'll be surprised how much the garden beds have really filled out. I'm standing out here late in the afternoon. I want you to look how pretty the sunset is back there amongst the trees. Hey, Hank, what you doing, bub? Hank is a good dog. He's got a lot of energy, though. Yeah, things, we've had a little bit of rain, but not much. I'm going to have to water stuff in the first thing in the morning. But things are really starting to fill out. Of course, here in Arkansas, we still have some cool nights, and so and during the day it heats up, but it gets on into the end of May and April before things just really start growing good. But if you can ever get a head start on it, before you know it, you're picking veggies out of the garden and canning and putting up stuff. So sometimes I think we just get in too big of a hurry. We just need to let things be a little bit and let them take their time and grow and produce and give us the time of just enjoying our garden and just doing the things. Because with a lot of us, even though we're getting broken down in the back and in the knees and in the hands, we still love to be out in the garden. And this is my first year of having the container garden. My fountain's not working because it works on solar. But look how full. Y'all remember, I filled this bed full of wildflower seeds. And just all kinds of flower seeds, poppies and zinnias. And there's a beautiful sage plant and my calendula. Back here's what they call a toothache plant. I need to check on that. Not sure about it. Never had one before. But yeah, I want you to look. There's hardly a bare space in that container. My nasturtiums. And so when them flowers really come up and start blooming, I think it's going to be beautiful. And I'll be able to come out every other day or so and cut flowers on the table. And look how this bed has filled out. The cabbages are doing great. All the flower seeds I put in there. And cherry tomatoes and herbs. I've got oregano. I've got thyme and parsley. And I finally got my cucumbers planted back there by the trellis. And the marigolds and comfrey plants and the little flowers and another tomato plant. But yeah, you see, that bed has really filled out. So that old trellis back there, as soon as them cucumbers start climbing, they should start climbing that trellis. And over here I've got the 3 yellow squash plants that'll fill this bed out before you know it. That's why I'm not really putting much in it right now, because we know how big them squash plants get. I did put a few flower seeds, and I planted some marigolds. I've got I think one may be a loofah, and then another is a birdhouse gourd, I think. Look how pretty that is, y'all. Out on the pond, the sunset coming through them trees. It's just so pretty. And of course the frogs are making their noise. Things are looking up in here too. It won't be long. I'm going to have some broccoli that I can harvest. Got some little broccoli heads in here, and got a comfrey plant in there. I planted comfrey here and there in different beds because I would look at that one. That won't be long. I'll be eating on that one. The comfrey plants, I will be harvesting those and making some comfrey tea out of them for fertilizer. Of course, my lettuces are doing good. And back there is more broccoli, and everything else I've got planted there is coming up. The celery and Swiss chard and radishes. And this one here is still growing. It's filling out more and more. There's a lot going on in that bed. And my flower bed over here that's just full of different kinds of flowers, and my dahlia plant. I replanted some seeds in there because it did have some bare spots in it, but hopefully they'll come on up. My 2 pepper plants are doing good. I don't know if I'll be planting any more peppers this year. And my Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. This morning I fertilized everything with fish emulsion. I put about a tablespoon per gallon of water of my fish emulsion. That's just the way I use it, and it does really good. Everything seems to be really thriving right now. My dill is doing good. I'll need it for canning situations, and I got some Swiss chard that come up really good there. My cabbage is in here too, and my comfrey plant, and everything just is filling the beds plumb up. That's why I say you can plant a lot in these raised beds and put a lot of produce on your table. But I still have things to plant. I'm debating on planting green beans this year. Not sure if I'm going to, or if I'm going to plant maybe field peas or something like that. I'm leaning towards what we call zipper peas, red ripper peas, maybe some whippoorwill peas, or what people call field peas. Danny does love peas better than he does green beans anymore. But you can hear the frogs out on the pond. That's called permaculture. When you've got that on your homestead, you can hear them frogs, lizards, insects, birds, butterflies, bees, all that good stuff. So yes, there's some things in life that really get you thinking. And you know, we've lived here. Hey Hank, we've lived here in Arkansas all of our lives, and we know the danger of tornadoes. You know, bad storms, anything like that. But I think there comes a point that I think that you just have to take control of it. And you know, when you've got storms coming, of course, you're always praying for everybody's safety and everything. You give it over to the good Lord that He's going to take care of everybody. But He also gives you that ability to make sure that you take care of yourself and your family. So on April 14th, when it got really, really down and dirty here, of course, we just had debris damage here at our place. But just right down the road, it done some damage. And as it got farther, done more damage. So that night, I also had a grandchild, my grandson, here with me. And I think that's when I really, really got unnerved about it, because I knew that, you know, I can say, well, if it's my time, it's my time. But when you got another little life in your hands, you can't do that. So we just bit the bullet and we got a storm shelter. I know a lot of y'all, knowing that we went through all these storms for a couple of weeks now. It's been one storm after another, tornado after tornado, in so many places in Arkansas and Missouri and different states that have been hit hard with tornadoes. Arkansas, I think, had the most tornado sightings.
Warnings, yeah.
Warnings. Is it always like this? Every spring? No, it's not. But we are used to having tornadoes in Arkansas. But
144 warnings in the month of April, I believe.
So this one just really, like I said in one of my other videos, it really unnerved me, and especially having, you know, a grandchild here, and to keep him safe. Of course, I done the only thing that we knew we could do when they said that, you know, the tornado was coming exactly to this point of our area. We had to get under the house in the crawl space to keep that child as safe as we could. So that's when I told Danny, I said, after that, I said, I'm going to get a storm shelter. We got to call and get something done. We can't do this. Especially, you know, it seems like everything is kind of shifted, and it could be totally different next spring. Could be a totally different thing. You never know. And we're not out of the, you know, the tornado season yet. We got a couple of weeks that we could still see a few. I hope not.
Actually, plumb through May.
I hope not. But anyways, so we did get a storm shelter, and we're going to show you the process when they brought it in and set it up. We just thought y'all might be interested. Now, we did get it from Arkansas Storm Shelters that's located in Russellville.
I believe that's right.
Russellville, Arkansas. So it was just, I didn't do just a complete shop around I didn't have time for that, nor did I want to. But I do know that they have a good rating on installation, and they have, I think it's a 10-year warranty on certain things on your storm shelter once they get it put in. So here it is, and it's not, most of it is underground, but you can see the very top, and it's got a slope on it, so the door's at the slope. It's not at the very top. Now, there's different storm shelters, isn't there, Danny? There's fiberglass, and there's also different sizes and stuff like that, different shapes. But this is just the one that we chose, that we knew we would be comfortable with. And so that's and they also have what they call safe rooms, or the above ground storm shelters that people put. Like my sister-in-law has one inside her garage. I've got a family member in Texas that had one put into his house when he built his house. And I think that's a good way to go too, if you can do that and afford it. A lot of people have basements that they can go to that they feel safe too. But
Hank, you gotta leave the camera alone.
Hank's, he's wanting some attention. But anyways, this was just the good one for us, the one I chose and Danny agreed to. So anyways, we're going to bring you up here and just kind of show you. And then we're going to just show you the whole process of how, when they brought it in and installed it. It's pretty neat to watch them do it too.
So I'll tell you a little bit. The storm shelter is, they call it a 6x8. Inside diameter is 7 long and 5 7 inches, 5 foot 7 inches wide. You could get 10 people in there if you needed to. Pretty easy. You can put 4 chairs along that wall, 3 along the back, 2 on this side, 1 up here in this corner if you needed to. If you need a place for everybody to sit. I don't assume we'll ever have that many people in it, but you never know. It's roughly, I think that it's roughly 4 to 5 foot deep in the ground. They dig about just roughly 11 by 11 hole. And we don't have a lot of places on this hill to put a shelter. We got all slope and grade, and have a lot of water runoff and all that. And so we chose here to do it. But you see, we have all these trees around here. And it was a tight working space for them. They could do a lot of digging out here. They had to go to the back. They had to go to the side. And it'd have been better if these trees hadn't have been here. It'd been a lot easier for everybody. But anyway, they got it done. Took about 4 hours. So after they fill the dirt in on the sides, well, before they fill the dirt on the sides, they set this top on there. And the top's got a lip to help keep moisture out. And they also put a thick seal all the way around that. And they set it on there, and then they smooth the seal on the outside and the inside. And they got 2 metal straps on each side that bolt from the top to the bottom part of the shelter to help hold everything. It's heavy enough. It weighs about 12,500 pounds, what it weighs. It's vented. It's got 2 vents in it. And then actually you can, with the door shut during daylight, you can, once your eyes focus, you can see in there pretty good. And then after we filled in the sides, and they took this dirt and put all the way around the outside edge of it. And then I took gravel and put on it. Now all this is going to settle down to a certain degree, and I will add more gravel later to it. But so we'll have a peek inside, and I would highly recommend. This is basically a 2-man operation. They've been in business several years. They know what they're doing, and they got the equipment to do it. But if you're going to order a storm shelter, don't wait till tornado season to get it done, because it's going to take. We were just fortunate. They had one coming in the area about 7 miles from here. And while they were here, they put ours in, or ours could have been another month or more away. But he said one of the best times to put them in is like September, October, November, plumb up into December. Is some of his, least busiest times. And that way you'd be ready for the following spring. So I'm going to go ahead and open this door up. This door has an assist arm on it. It's got a big spring in the bottom of it. So it's spring loaded, so it's easier to lift. And when you shut it, it won't slam down on you. See, it'll sit halfway open. It's got a spring. It goes down to the steps and got a spring. You see that spring down there?
It's going to echo.
That's what that spraying helps with your door assist. The door's got a 3-latch hook. It hooks in here at the bottom. It also has a piece that slides under this metal. So it's got a 3-way catch on it. A good heavy metal door. This is all built where water, can't get under it easy. Can you hear me echoing now?
Yeah, it's going to echo. It may be rough on their ears.
But plenty of room to stand up.
Okay, what was the measurements on this one?
They call it I'll get out of here, I'm going to echo. They call it a 6x8, but it's the inside, because they measure from the outside. So the inside measurements are 7 foot 7 inches long, 5 foot 7 inches wide. And there's quite a bit of room in there.
They have a bigger size too.
Yeah, they have bigger ones.
So this was just our choice. Yeah, I want to apologize for the neighbor's dogs barking the whole time. But there is quite a bit of room in there, and if my kids had to come, we could sit. Danny thinks anywhere from 8 to 10 people, neighbors, kids, grandkids.
You could get more than that in there if you wanted 2 or 3 standing up. So
right.
If it was an emergency, you could get several people in there.
So it's a decent size. It's all that we need. And it's just a safe place to be in circumstances that we were put in, a couple of times.
Well, we're getting too old to crawl into the house.
I can't do that, but believe me, we did with the grandson, and I hunkered over him. And
we've actually had one. We had a fiberglass when we lived up on the river and house.
And it was small. It only set maybe 3 or 4 people.
It was smaller than this, yes.
It's not hard. It's not hard to climb in or out of. It may look like it would be, but it's not. So let's talk about...
It's got non-skids on the steps too.
Let's talk about what you would need to keep in your storm shelter. Okay, essential items that you need to keep down here so that when that time gets here, that you don't need to be running around trying to find stuff that you need to keep in your, whether it's your basement, storm shelter, above ground shelter, whatever. Chairs. We thought that it'd probably be best to have the outdoor fold-up chairs, because you can fold them up and kind of stick them in the corner. But we also have 2 outdoor fold-up chairs that are comfortable.
Lounge chairs.
Lounge chairs. If it's just me and him in there and we've got to be in there for a little while, so it's just stuff like that. Also, I'll probably have a plastic bin with a lid on it in there that'll have a blanket, a pillow or 2. I will put a couple of jugs of water in there. I'll have to change it out, make sure that I don't just leave it in there. And, every once in a while I'll change the jug of waters out, whether they've been opened or not. You need to have a shelf stable, say like granola bars, trail mix, just in case you've got to stay in there a while. Or the worst worst predicament that something, if it hits head on, in Lake City, when it hit there, it was horrible, y'all. And there was a storm shelter, I think had been there for years. And it was one of those that the top was square like this, and only the top where the door was stuck up out of the ground. And there was a vehicle on top of that. But amazingly enough, they could get out the door because even though that vehicle was on top, it was kind of on the side, so they could get out. So the best thing you can do before you get in that storm shelter is to quickly text a family member, neighbor, somebody, or call them and say, I'm going to this shelter. If you don't hear from me in a little bit, come check on me. Well, if it's bad enough, when we lived on the big farm, there was a time that a tornado come through there that Danny and my oldest boy couldn't get to us. They had to get chainsaws. That's been years ago. Chainsaws and, just to get to us to check on us. Of course, it was fine when they got to the farm. But if that happens, you could be in here if, say, there is something in front of the door that you're not able to pry the door open. Worst case scenario. But you're still alive, so you're okay. But
you just want something to drink to keep you going.
You always need to be prepared for this stuff, regardless if it turns out the best of circumstances or if it don't, because you never know. Flashlights, batteries. We'll also put a bucket down there with cat litter in it and a lid on it. Keep toilet paper, tissue, because we're human. And if you're down there very long, or like I said, worst circumstances, you're going to have to go to the bathroom. It would be.
You could be in there all night.
It could be an off-grid situation that you need that bucket. I mean, I can only hold it so long. And cat litter is a very good thing to use. So, when
that storm come through here, it was a few hours before you could even get in and out this road because the timber blowed over. Luckily, we had neighbors and people that were out taking care of it. Some of them had some equipment and what have you. But you never know. I mean,
like I said, flashlights for sure. Don't just take one down there. Have several. Now, when I walked down there a while ago, my phone showed that the Wi-Fi, even with the door open, went zit. No more. It had no more Wi-Fi. So that would be a most important thing, is to let somebody know, hey, I'm going to the storm shelter. Check on me if you don't hear from me. So
we'll have kids that know. If it's hit this area, they're going to know. And we have neighbors that will know eventually that we do have a storm shelter. So
we have a couple elderly neighbors. If we have to go get them, put them in here. On April the 14th, that was a very, very scary day here. And people done what they could do. And a lot of them were very terrified. I have two daughters that are 15 minutes from me. We have such good weathermen on YouTube and our local weather station that they tell us the track of the tornado. And a lot of times, some places have anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes is what they'll tell you. So we know if needed, the girls and the kids could get here. And we know we had enough room to put them in here. So it's just that peace of mind now that I've got just for these circumstances. So,
now you will have extra dirt. You will have extra dirt left over.
Lots of dirt.
So you got to be able to, be prepared. They're not going to move that dirt off for you. I spent the rest of the day yesterday, and you could probably see behind here in the yard, and I hauled all that dirt out, cleaned it all up, but and then I put the chat around it.
And like Danny said, y'all know that we live up on the edge of a holler, and we live out in the woods. So there was not like the perfect place to put it. So where we put it is good. We can come right down off the front porch and not too far into the door of the storm shelter. So anyways.
And luckily we didn't hit no big rock.
No, that really surprised us, y'all. But this is just what I call peace of mind for me and Danny. Probably more me than Danny. And it was an investment, a very good investment as far as I'm concerned. So I feel better about things now for sure. So if you're thinking about getting a storm shelter, always check within your state, wherever you're at. I know years ago, Arkansas even had some kind of a rebate where they paid so much on a storm shelter. I don't think they do that no more. I think they really should. In any state that gets tornadoes like we do, I think the state, I really do. I'm putting that out there. States should maybe have some kind of a rebate or some kind of help for stuff like that. But anyways, that's just me
I'm pretty
talking.
sure this shelter is built in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it is too. So this shelter was built in Oklahoma. And like I said, if I'm thinking right, it's got a 10-year warranty on it.
It does. It's in there on a sticker.
But anyways, we wanted to just show y'all what's been going on this week. Been a busy week with just everything going on. But I want to show y'all. Y'all might be interested in seeing how they put in storm shelters and what it consists of. And you just need to research it, what's best for you and your family and where you live and your situation. And this was just what worked out for us.
Durant, Oklahoma.
Durant, Oklahoma.
And, there's some people actually buy them and got the equipment and they put it in themselves. It can be done, but this was a turnkey deal other than the gravel.
And it was 2 men and they done an excellent job. And I thank both of them for it.
Like I say, it's a 2-man operation and a secretary. And so.
They traveled from Russellville all the way up here.
Yeah, that's 3 hours.
So they done a good job. The guy running the backhoe, whatever, I mean, they leveled everything perfectly. It's
done right.
I feel good about it. So anyways, we just want to bring y'all along. And so enjoy the next few minutes of just watching their process of putting it in. And we'll see y'all in a few days. I know Miss Lori's kind of been lacking on the cooking, and Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown's not been in the kitchen with me a whole lot lately, but maybe that'll change here pretty soon. And Mr. Brown's going hunting and
heading out to New Mexico.
So he'll be doing that, and he'll be gone a little bit. But Miss Lori will be here, and we'll do some cooking. And I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of canning too. So anyways, y'all stay with us. Don't go anywhere, and just watch the process of putting in my peace of mind right here, storm shelter. Okay, well, they're starting on getting the hole dug. A perfectly square hole. You can see how close it is to the front porch. So I'm excited to get this all started. We're hoping they don't run into a big boulder, a bunch of rocks, that's for sure. But so far, so good. It's a 2-man job. One running the backhoe, one just making sure everything's measured and leveled. Now it's time to put the storm shelter into the hole.
Well, that's a pretty square. Flat, nice.
Okay, so they got the bottom of the shelter into the hole. And now he's going down there and he's going to take a level and he's going to make sure that every corner and every side is level.
How many people you reckon you can get in there? You had to.
And it must be.
Well, I'd probably have a
Must be all good and level.
shouldn't fit that many people.
Okay, now he already put a sealer around the top rim of the bottom part of the shelter. I just didn't show that part. And now they're bringing the top of the shelter down on top of that lip, that rim that has the sealer in there. So that seal, once that top of the shelter goes down into that lip, that seal will kind of just push out of there and seal that. And then they'll go to the inside of the shelter and then around the outside, and they'll spread that seal over the where it comes together. So that's what he's doing, is spreading that sealant around the outside where it come together. And then they're also doing it around the inside. And you see they have some kind of metal brackets or something that they've put on there and holding it together. Now they're going to fill it all back in. And it'll come up plumb around the sides, and it'll be healed up around the sides. There won't be much of it sticking out once they get done. And we'll show you what it looks like after it's all done. So thank you, Arkansas Storm Shelters. You give me a peace of mind. So Danny's out here, and he has leveled a lot of it off, and he also hauled a bunch of chat in to put on top, and it will settle and he'll have to add more. But you can see how much of the storm shelter is actually covered and in the ground. This is called a slope. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a few days. Hopefully we'll be cooking up something really good. So God bless everybody. We love y'all.